Are you ready? We are live on the mic with our host DJ Deuce and Bamboo Bam. Bam. Let's get this show started.
Yo, what's up? I'm your host DJ Deuce. My co-host next to me, Bamboo. What's up, Bam?
What up, everybody?
Yo, we got a special guest today, man.
Yeah.
I got, we grew up, we're at the same hood, man. I remember getting up in the music business together. Gutta King Chris. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, what up? What's good, people? How y'all doing?
Good, man. I'm happy to have you on, bro.
Thank you.
I know, and when anyone that's gonna listen to this is gonna call me a jerk, but I waited later to get my own people back on here, just so our fan base was bigger, so it benefited them. I'm sorry I used some of the other people ahead of time, but it is what it is. I wasn't gonna use my own people. Screw that, man. I'm gonna make sure you guys are doing well, bro.
Yeah, for real.
So Chris, man, I know that when I met you, we were, in the Ottawa scene and stuff like that. But were you born and raised in Ottawa?
No, I was born in Montreal, but raised in Ottawa.
Damn, man.
Montreal.
That's I think Montreal's my favorite city.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite too. Yeah, for sure. It's up there.
City, man.
If it's not my favorite, then it's like the number two.
It's definitely. I love it.
It's top like five at least.
I know. When I get people from out of town visiting, man, they're like, "Yo, we're gonna come down to Canada," and I'm like, "Yeah, meet me in Montreal." Like, no offense to Ottawa. Ottawa's cool. It's a cool scenery place. You can show them some hot spots and stuff. But but if you want to show them a hell of a good time, you take them straight to Montreal, man.
Montreal, they know how to party. That's one thing. And they eat good over there.
Oh, trust me. Bam took me to a place called Barbie Barnes.
Out there.
Bam changed my life.
Yeah. Straight up.
So Chris, man, so as much as I got to meet you in the music scene, interviewing you today is great because then I get to know you even more. How did you even start? Like, what influenced you? How'd you get into music, man?
To be honest, it's like a combination of like it being like, I don't know, like instilled in me.
Yeah, I could imagine. Yeah.
And a little mixture of my mom and then my cousins. My cousins were rapping back in the day, and I always thought it was cool what they were doing.
Yeah.
So I just always used to listen to them freestyle in their room, and I'd be like, yo, one day I'm going to be able to do this. And then my mom always had hip hop in the house. Remember back in the days when you used to get those Columbia House packages?
Yep.
You get like 100 CDs for like whatever price they were paying.
Has anyone ever known anyone that actually paid full price for those things? We always paid a penny and we always fucked them over. That's why they
it's so funny. Everybody had. Yeah, you can't give people.
Like, I got all these CDs. My mom would be like, "How'd you get those?" I'm like, "I don't know. I filled out some card." I was like,
I filled out some card.
The neighborhood record pool.
It was the dumbest. It was great for us, but that's the dumbest system in life. Like they weren't going to give a 13-year-old kid a fucking bad credit. I didn't have any. You know what I mean? I was I got all these CDs.
Fill out the card and just set it out.
It was.
Remember 100 disc CD changers? Those ones,
yes,
the 100 discs.
Put them all.
That's where you pop those things in. You're just like here.
I love that, man.
Yeah. You can never
I miss those times.
I miss those
times. All the time you took. No, but remember, back in the day, I find that like the patience that you had to have for music back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, which is not there today.
We talk about that every fucking
like
time.
You had to. Remember waiting? You had to wait. You had to wait for your favorite artist to drop. You know, It's funny. I still go by that method. Like me, I'm not just going to release content. That's why it takes me a minute because I got to get it right. Like I got to at least write 100 songs Chris, before I release one.
I diss how the system is made today, but I'm a victim. I'm impatient. They've ruled me. They pulled me into that. It's like I don't even know. I don't have the appreciation of listening to a good track like I used to. I try. Don't get me wrong. When I hear a good track now, I go out of my way and it's on my Spotify fucking playlist now. Like I go out of my way to appreciate it now because I have to talk to myself because it's like I just lost it. Because you're right. You were waiting for a release date or the anticipation of an album being dropped. You know what I mean? That one video was leaked, or you saw that one video and you're like, oh my God, it's going to be so hot.
That buildup ain't there no more. You know what I mean? It takes me a couple of listens before I start to appreciate a song. You know what I mean? For what it is. Because like I said, I'm older. Language change, slang change, lingo change. You know what I mean? Take me a minute to catch on to it. Then I can appreciate what he did with it, how he did it. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's just a big flop, and it's like, how the fuck did this pass the board? You know what I mean? How did this get passed? You know?
Yeah.
But,
Well.
you know, but with these young kids, speaking of that, with these young rappers, where would you put them? Where would you put them? You know, what do you think of them? Where do you put them?
You know what? With a lot of the young rappers, I find like they got that, like the talent and the drive is there for sure. The hard work ethic is there, but I think what happens is that a lot of people, a lot of people don't write anymore. That's one thing I realized. A lot of people don't write, and it shows, You know what I mean? So that's why it's like what we call it, like microwave music. You know, over like a slow roast. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
And that's my approach. My approach is a slow roast.
Okay.
Yeah,
I love eating.
I was just gonna say that. I put nothing in the microwave. I know exactly what you're saying.
I don't even own a microwave. How about that?
Dude, I can't stand it. When someone's like, yo, put that in the microwave, I'm like, fuck, I'll heat it up somewhere. I know exactly what you're saying.
I got a toaster oven.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a toaster oven.
Yeah. I get that.
Now, I mean, the drive. I hear you with the drive, but, you know, sometimes I don't even think the drive is there. I mean, shit, it take them 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and 30 seconds to write something, drop something, and then, boom, it's out there, right? So, where's the drive to actually go out and push your music and did it this and did it that? It's not there. You know what I mean?
You know what? It's clout. It's a popularity contest nowadays. Yeah. That's what I found. Everybody just wants clout. So it's like I remember a couple of young cats, like they would hit me up and be like, "Yo, how do you do this? How do you do that?" I'd be like, "You know what? You go online, go on YouTube, and go look at a music theory class.
Makes sense.
And then, you know what I mean? Learn cadences. Learn songwriting, everything's out there on YouTube, so learn that. And usually the conversation gets awkward and then they're out and then they're back doing their thing, and I'm just like, fucking
because you didn't give them the recipe right away.
But you know it's crazy, compliment sandwich, you know what I mean? It's like I start with a positive comment, you know what I mean, complimenting them, then I give them constructive criticism, then I end it with a compliment, but still everybody just like throws the bread away and you know what I mean? Eats the meat. You know what I mean? Like that. Okay, all right. You know what I mean? That's something. But as you get older, hopefully, they learn. But you know what I realized, that after a while, I know a lot of these young cats like that started a little while ago. They all quit. You know what I mean? Because they realize that it's not exactly what they think it is. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Because you guys are both MCs. When I both met you guys, it was pretty much around the same time, and it was the hustling moment, right? It was press the CDs, hopefully get on someone's mixtape. Let's the grind. And even I bet you when the YouTube era came out and you could upload your shit, you guys still probably are still strategic on how to do it because you're not just putting out bullshit. When did this all stop? Like, was there an artist out there that you guys think that was just like Soulja Boy gets shit on for it? You know what I mean? But
he's a marketing genius, though. He's really good at marketing.
Bam and I got schooled on Soulja Boy.
We did.
We got schooled from a young cat. We dogged him a little bit, and he schooled us on how he was probably the most independent guy making his own beat and stuff like that, and made a lot of money.
True that. Yeah. No, I give Soulja Boy his flowers for what he did and how he redefined the game and changed the game to an online thing. You know what I mean? Well, especially Twitter. He's the reason why Twitter really blew up.
Wow.
He was one of the first people.
He relabeled a lot of his songs with other people's names. He kind of, my era, he's a biter. You know what I mean?
For sure.
He bit that dude clout in the sense of like Dre signing off on M. You know what I mean? He just used M name to sign off on himself. You know what I mean?
Right,
without even the permission. You get what I'm saying? And he grew up at an age where he lucky where the rappers of my age didn't go, when I see this little motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? We couldn't do it then because we had the popularity. We couldn't just bang it out when we wanted to. That's what
true.
He got lucky. He got lucky. You know?
Yeah, that too. But, remember, hip hop is a lot of luck and chance plays in it too, right?
Yeah.
Well, he got lucky in the sense of, he didn't, I'm going to label this Rakim and Eric B and Rakim, boom, 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 and then go to New York. They're going to see you. They're going to see you when you touch down.
Yeah, true.
You understand what I'm saying? But now, you can do anything you want, which is, he was smart enough to let you know how to use the internet to make it. You get what I'm saying? And I give him that. That I give him. I can't take that from him.
Straight up.
Once I heard how he did it, I was like, It's fucking genius, though.
Yeah, that's why I said genius marketing.
Yeah, trust me, we got schooled. I had to eat my words that day.
He took a
I
big
don't like
chance.
to do that.
He took a big chance on the method he took, but it was genius. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I agree with that.
So, Chris, when did you start taking the game seriously? And what I mean by that is, like, you know what I mean? When you take some of your own money and you start going into the studio and, you know what I mean, pressing CDs. How old were you, man? When did you start taking that seriously?
Oh, man, I was like going to the studio, taking my own money.
Yeah.
Well, when I was like 14, like I was in a group and like we were about to get signed. So from like 14, we were in the studio. Yeah, like 14, 15. So, and then that didn't fall through for whatever reason, you know. And then from that point on, I went to a place called Swap Studio.
Yeah, we've all been there. Yeah.
Yeah, Swap. And from that point on, I built a relationship with them and I just kept going there. Yeah. And even nowadays, one of my co-producer, shout out Joss the Greatest, I still work with him. He's my co-producer now, and you know what I mean. I met him through Swap. You know what I mean. Even though Swap is no more, that we still got together, and that's my co-producer. You know what I mean. My brother. You know, you feel me?
Dude, Swap is the place where you're on the clock literally with that park that taxi cab.
Yeah. But you know what? I gave them props because a lot of time they turn that. You know what I mean? Like as soon as.
But dude, that's fair. You know what I mean? It's fair game.
They would turn it off for me.
But you know what I mean? It's fair game for any customer. There is no bullshit with that fucking clock. You guys are
beautiful.
Ready? Clicked it. I died of laughter because I was like, man, there was no like 10 minutes over. And the guy would be like, yo, this is it. Yeah, I loved it, man.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Yeah, I thought it was so cool. It made you feel like you're actually in a business. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? But remember, smoke weed and press play. A business that you could smoke weed in. You know what I mean? Facts. Yeah. I remember that. I remember being young, being like, yo, this is the life. You know what I mean?
The studio life. I loved when first time I ever walked in the studio just to see it, like the creative process. Like I've never been an MC at all. Like I was always on the business tip, promoting shows or helping artists. But to watch you guys develop music, like I could hear a beat and be like, this beat's sick. But then when I see what you guys do with the beat, I'm like, holy fuck, they're amazing. Like, cause I'm like, I'm not creative enough to think what you guys see, right? Like some of the shit you guys pull off is crazy.
We get the beat and then we write to it and then we listen to it and it's like, it ain't coming out the way we wanted to. And then when we get it right, it's just magic. You know what I mean? When we get it right.
Yeah.
You guys are some creative processing, I'll tell you that, man.
Takes time.
That's for sure. Yeah.
You know?
Can't rush greatness, you know?
True.
You remember your very first track you ever did, kid?
My first track that I ever did, man. I don't even, like, I've written so much from that point, but it's like I do remember, the first track I did in the studio, it was, we took, like, actually, we kind of bit the beat. You know what I mean? Because we wrote
back then, absolutely.
We had it vinyl, and it was back in the days when Aaliyah released that song, "Are You Somebody?"
Yep.
Yeah, it was a big record. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
So we wrote, me and the group that I was in, we wrote to that. We all wrote to it, and then the song was hot, and in the city, people were messing with it. So that's how we got into a situation where we were talking to a guy that ran a label. So we had to remix the beat, you know what I mean? We got Gogs from Swap to remix the beat, and I remember it. You know what I mean? I do remember it. Yeah, now that I think about it, I do remember it. It's kind of corny, but whatever.
That's what I was looking for. I was wondering if you were going to criticize yourself on that.
No, it was corny. It was corny as hell.
The first thing you did of anything is corny, man. You know what I mean?
But you know, the experience, you know, is just priceless. It's priceless, the experience. So I'll never go back and hate on it. But come on, I could go back to something I did before. I'm like, you know what, that was kind of whack. But I was young, learning.
Oh, right? Of course, man. Of course.
There you go.
Trust me, if you listen to episode 1 of our first podcast, Shooting the Shit, we were, dude, Bam, we used to put a microphone on a speaker so we can talk to Bam in Nova Scotia. Do you know how bad that sounded like, man? Like we
must have been crazy.
We were shit. You know what I mean?
Fuck.
You know, and then you'd listen to it and you'd be like, man, we gotta figure some shit out. This is stupid.
It's not working. It's not working.
But you have to start from somewhere and progress from there on, right? So
guys,
exactly. We were talking backstage real quick about hip hop and the struggle that we as artists and promoters and even DJs have in most cities. Chris, remember like I remember you and I bumped into each other it was Le Scratch, and I remember you came over to me, dude. I've always had mad respect for you and your crew. You guys were always fucking had so much respect. And I remember you came up to me like, how do you get all these shows? And trust me, it took me a while, and I was like, trust me, I had to do a lot of promising, lose a whole lot of money. The most successful show I made was negative $200. So,
oh shit!
Oh yeah. Trust me, bro. It's a tough business. And I remember, and you're like, man, we have these problems. And because when I'm young, I'm probably maybe 25, 26, 27 at that time, and I'm still naive in the fact of I didn't really understand that because everywhere I grew up, racism wasn't really a part of my mind until I start really growing and making business transactions and meeting club owners. And your words, even though I was probably drunk on $8 pitchers, always made me think, like, how come because meeting you know what I mean? Guy was always straight, polite. I'm like, how is he not getting a show?
Right.
But now I'm thinking, you know what I mean? When I was looking at your name and I was looking at, oh my God, they're probably going to fucking put him in this circle saying, no way he's going to perform on my shit. Bam, you've had issues like that performing at some events, haven't you?
Man. Yeah, of course.
It's hard to get in. You know what I mean? I had club owners talk about, I don't like your type of music. You know what I mean? Like, it causes trouble. It does this. And don't get me wrong, if you put yourself as a club owner and you want people to come, have a good time, and not have no problems. You know what I mean? And when certain type of people come in and certain type of problems happen, you know what I mean? It just get categorized and generalized, and it sucks because people start to go, oh, they do this, and then, oh, they don't do that, and it sucks, man. It's hard, but that's part of the business, and we never understood that as artists. When we came out, we was just talking about we got good music, we want to hear the music. We're not thinking on his aspect of, well, the
business aspect,
this is going to be a problem, or that's going to be a problem. This is going to wreck my problem, my business. If I got the cops coming here every 2 weeks, you know what I mean? People don't want to come here. You know what I mean?
Man, so I've seen that before, for real.
We got to weigh all that shit out, right? But if we knew what we knew back then, what we knew now, it'd be a whole different ball game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we'd be looking at him like, fuck you. We'll just go rent that hall and make it happen ourselves. We just ain't selling no liquor. That's all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And we could make a lot of fucking money. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because we don't have to sell $10 tickets. We could sell $4 tickets. Because we ain't got no booze, but people are still going to come because they want the music. It was about the music back
true.
then,
I remember having a show at the club that you were talking about, Le Scratch, and I remember we had a show even my song was playing on Hot 89.9 at the time.
That's right.
And I was doing an album release, and I just remember a couple days before, police went to the Le Scratch and was like, oh, this hip hop music, gangsters, you're going to get gangsters, and we're not telling you to stop the event. We're not telling you to do anything, but if anything happens at the event, then you're going to be held accountable for it. So I don't know. We got a phone call. Yeah, they're canceling the show.
Yeah, because what they're going to do is they're going to send a fire marshal out there.
Yeah.
And a liquor inspector. And if it's one rule, one stumbling drunk, one anything, and then the fines come out. You know what I mean? I used to manage a nightclub, and I remember I had to shut down one night on Elgin.
Right.
I had and this is how much power. It was the weirdest thing. Some girl said she got hit outside. She goes, oh, I got hit. Someone hit me in that bar. No bouncer saw nothing. Nothing ever happened. The club wasn't even that big to begin with. Cops came down, shut her down. 12:30, shut her down. It's done. I have to explain to the owner that we had to shut down and lost an hour and a half worth of sales, and on something I don't even know what the fuck happened. But that's how much power. So in that case, the club owner couldn't take that chance, and that's what I found. I don't know, I just say it's Ottawa. I know it's a government city, and it's really tough, right? Because even when I was DJing, they would hate when I dropped the hit, some hardcore hip hop gangster, and I didn't give a shit. I was always like, okay, I won't do it next week, and I'd do it again. And the thing is, because I used to tell Bam, as long as there was no violence happening on my bar, plus the numbers of sales were pretty good, what the fuck's the club owner really going to complain about? He's going to say it every week, but every week he loves that money, so he's got to run with it, right? So, but even as a DJ, I had issues. What kind of music you want to spin? Well, I love old school hip hop.
They want top 40s. It's crazy how much they want top 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The earworm scenario.
It's tough, man. It's a tough industry. Now, do you prefer,
What?
like you were talking about, the hand-to-hand combat, the way that we promoted the yourself, with CDs, or do you prefer today's day and age with this Spotify and this YouTube and this streaming platform?
You know what? To be honest, like, I feel like everything's fair game. That's just the way. Like, I never had a moment to think, like, which one do I like better? I was just, oh, this is what it is. Get to it. I'm a hustler, so whatever it is, I get to it. That's it.
Get on it.
And like I said, and just being, like I said, being a black person, especially in Canada, where when I grew up, it was predominantly like white and a little bit racist. You just learn to adapt to every situation. So from that, it's like I took that and put that into the music, and it was the same thing. It was like, oh, okay, so it's YouTube. Okay, cool. YouTube, let's do it. All right. Oh, Spotify. Okay, yeah. All right, let's do it. I've never really, you know what I mean? As long as I could get, you know what I mean, get to that bag and get my music out there. Actually, that's one cool thing about like the internet nowadays is just you could get your music. It can reach so far, especially if you put a little bit money behind it. Yeah. Before you'd have to get up and actually physically go out there. And if you're not in China, then guess what? They're not hearing you.
That's facts, man.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Now I have Chinese, Japanese, Dutch, a whole bunch of places that I've never been to, but people liking my music. And nowadays you can see your analytics and see where your music is popping. So that's a great thing. But the thing is that the other day, I think it was that Apple was saying that there's 20,000 songs released a day on Apple. So think about how many songs come out a year.
Right.
So that's the downside, right? That's the downside to it, because back in the days, your CD's out. Usually you're out there. If you're out there with your CD, usually it's rare to see somebody else out with their CD. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Monday you have your CD, maybe Friday somebody else has their CD out. You know what I mean? Or the next month.
Yeah, not 20,000 people a day.
Now, every single day, the people don't even, the quality went down. That's my issue. That's the only issue I have with today's climate.
Back in the day, the labels controlled those release dates. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They hire all these MCs. You're going to come out here. You're going to come out then. You're going to come out this. And the other label companies be going correspond with them. You know what I mean? Just back and forth, back and forth.
Yep.
So my label ain't going to drop something when you dropping yours.
Competing, that makes no sense. Yeah, hurt them both, right.
Yeah,
but Bam, what I see, I just wish that we understood the independence better back in the day. And what I mean by that is, promoting yourself better as, you know what I mean, like a little tour, doing all the cities around you with your team, with your CDs. Because, you start popping those CDs at $10-15 a piece, you're making some decent money.
Right.
Yeah.
We're making those fractions of pennies on these fucking streaming platforms is
right.
Horrible.
And that was a good hustle. But the problem is, like we was talking about, these club owners, trying to get that tour together is going to be damn near impossible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if we knew about the Indie Bible back then, because all the clubs was into this, because they never taught us this music industry business. You know what I mean? So
and those were in the library. Nobody even knew that. You just had to go to all you had to do is go to the library and they were there.
Yeah,
but I found that out later on in my career. I was like, what? This book, the Indie Bible, all these music distribution, and there's one that just had all the labels and everything in it at the library.
And nobody taught us the music business.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, you know what it is? Another thing is that a lot of people, because with the music business, it's like there's some things that are like fundamental, but the rest is like, to me, it's like you figure it out on your own, because it's the same thing like when I was creating music. Like I know people who went to school for like music and they became producers, but our content was a little bit better because it came from the soul, where them it was like more of like a job. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a job to make money. Where us is like, we don't care about money. We're always in the negative with this shit, especially back in the days. Like when we were selling our CDs, we were just try maybe get close to breaking even. Even from everything that we spent on wardrobe, video, studio time. Is it, like I said, rap is just like it's literally acquiring debt. You know what I mean? You're going into debt.
You're right, and that's what it was. Promoting an event, I would promote a show at Babylon's. And it would be.
I remember Babylon.
Okay, Babylon's used to give it to me on a Sunday night, right? But I was like, okay, bro, I popped off 4 or 5 Sundays. Give me a Friday. Like, I deserve a Friday now, right?
Oh, man.
So he gives me a Friday. He goes, yeah, no problem. I'll give you a Friday. And I start promoting the shit out of it. I throw a bikini contest. I throw 3 artists up in there. I don't like his lighting, so I up the lights a bit. I get wireless mics instead. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hook the whole thing up pretty good.
Yeah.
Then last minute, probably 2 days before the event starts, he goes, oh, by the way, I used to give it to you for $100 on a Sunday. I said, yeah. He goes, well, Friday's going to be $500. And you need to bring 2 doormen. And I'm like, oh, man, I just spent a whole lot more money on different shit now, right? Like, my budget wasn't towards this. Right. So I'm like, wow, I can't bail out of the show. It's in 2 fucking days. Don't trust me. Adam doesn't talk bad about me, and this is the only thing bad I can say about him was that stunt he pulled. Trust me, I never did another event there. We left it.
Adam.
But dude, Adam was the owner of Babylon's.
Right.
And this dude, like, I did the event. Dude, super successful, busy. Everyone's like, oh my God, you killed it. No, dude, I was negative $200.
There you go.
Yeah, you killed it for the culture, though. You know what I mean?
Yes, I killed it for the culture. 600 Entertainment was a brand that had to pay $200 to put it out there. People don't get that. People are like, man, you made a killing, and I'm like, no, not even close.
You know, there's this old saying that we always hear it in music, and you know what we say? Charge it to the game.
It's fucking facts, man.
You got to charge it to the game.
And I'm happy you brought that up, man. It is. There was a dude that came in my studio one time, and he goes, if I don't make it in 2 years, I give up. And I was like, quit now.
Yeah, straight up.
Quit.
You know what? You know why? I'll tell you straight up. I had dreams. Obviously, we all have that dreams.
Always
bringing your life to the next level, right? Mm-hmm. Especially when you come from low income poverty. Obviously, you want to get to that next level. But to me, I never, in my mind, gave myself a date like, oh, if I don't do this by this, I quit. Then what's the point of me being in it? You know, it takes 10,000 hours to be a master of anything. So,
that's right.
So
true.
I want to ask you guys both a question. Is there ever a time that you said, fuck this, I'm done with this? Was there ever? No,
because everybody, it depends on how you look at this rap thing. You know, people look at it, rap as, you know, I'm a rapper, I'm going to rap this and this and this. Rap to me is hip hop. It's a culture. Mm-hmm. So I am hip hop. You understand? I'm never going to stop. You know what I mean? I might be 85 and still drop a hit. You know what I mean? Think about Dolomite. He rapping.
Yeah.
He's old, still rapping. You know what I mean? So you know, it's always going to be there. So
I just saw something new from
the. I might not be in the mood to do it, but I'll do it. You know?
Yeah. I just saw something new from the Isley Brothers, like a new song.
No
so
way.
To me, it's like, and the song is smooth. It's smooth. It's today's type of vibe with their old school stuff on it. It's actually a pretty dope track. And to me, when I see people like that still doing their thing, to me, it's just, I'm happy. I love it when I see the OGs doing their thing.
Absolutely,
you know what I
man.
mean? I love it. I always salute. It's always a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? Because to me, it's like, it's not, like he said, it's basically like, I am hip hop. Like, this is a lifestyle. So to me, it's like, even if I'm not on the mic, because I got into producing about like 15 years ago. So I've been producing my own projects for like probably the last 15 years.
That's amazing.
So now it's like, even if I'm not rapping, I'm doing songwriting and I'm making beats, you know what I mean? Or I'm in the studio just here to tell people, oh, put this, put that over there, turn the levels down, you know what I mean? Just like a producer. I always have something to do with music. So because I am hip hop. I am hip hop. Doesn't matter.
I just watched the BET Awards for 2022, and it was only three things about that award show that I appreciated. The fact that they finally gave Trina her roses for her age, and her longevity in the game.
Yeah,
and
true that.
Joe Crack hosting the show.
Love it.
When the old school performers came out and performed.
Oh,
because all the new rappers came out and performed, but it didn't touch the old school rappers when they came out and performed. That energy, that electricity, that vibe was like, couldn't stop it. I was like, oh, the good days.
Yeah. But you know what? And that's the thing with these new kids, with so much music coming out, I don't think they're going to have this oh, yo, these were the good day songs. Nope. You know what I mean? I don't think they have that because there's so much music out there. You're not gonna have a moment. You know what I mean? You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember this song and that's it. Where us, it's like, there was moments. There's just moments. You know what I mean? And
you listen to a certain song, it brings you back. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I remember that one. That was the dope summer. You know what I mean?
But it's not even you. It's when you play it, even when you play it to other people.
Yeah.
Everybody just, oh, yo. Like if you play like a song like, let's say LL Doing It. Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, yo. Everybody's like, oh, 96, 95. Everybody remember, you know what I mean?
Right. That's right.
Or when you hear more money, more problems, you're like, oh man, this takes me back. You know
Absolutely,
what I mean?
Man.
Mm-hmm. Something like that. One of those big hits.
And we are losing those moments. We are definitely losing those moments.
Yeah,
that's right.
You know,
that's right.
Like
because the music is not timeless anymore. They're not making timeless music. Like I said, microwave music.
Here's a perfect example: Hot Boys and Lil Wayne now. Where do your memories come from? You know what I mean?
Man, that Bling Bling video, man, that thing changed my life. That changed my life. That Bling Bling video, man.
Not a new Lil Wayne, but that Bling Bling was the thing that
I give Wayne his flowers though, for sure. Wayne is easily one of my like top 10 MCs for sure. Yeah, top 10 MCs.
But his earlier years can't be stopped.
Yeah, but that's most artists in general that
everybody always says your first. You spend your whole life making your first album, and then when your first album's out, nobody's gonna compare it. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, his first album." Name me one person where you're like, "His new album's better than his first album."
It's fucking doesn't exist.
The only time I heard that was with Tupac.
Fair enough. You have one, Bam?
Like All Eyes on Me. A lot of people said that was better than Me Against the World.
Bam, you got one, but the second album was better than the first.
Jay-Z's first album was hot, but that Blueprint album, over.
Okay,
then the Blackout. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
Dynasty.
But I would love to see. I'm going to tell you.
See, Jay-Z could, straight up. But
you guys just mentioned you mentioned two legends.
What about Nas? Does anything touch Illmatic?
No.
See, and that's the thing. He only had
Illmatic. What I'm saying?
Anything after that. You know what I mean?
Actually, Dr. Dre got that for Chronic 2001.
Chronic in 2000, yes.
2001. The Chronic in Chronic 2001, and maybe Eminem got that with his first one and his second one.
But I love how you guys just dropped the biggest names in the game, and this is why they are who they are, right?
Yeah.
Because they're following up, right? Like, they're following up. There's guys that still come up with major hits, but album wise,
Now producers, they all get it. You know what I mean? Like if we think about producers, they all top their last song. You get what I'm saying? Jermaine Dupri always topped his last songs.
Always
topped
always.
You know what I mean? Dre, every song he did, right there. You know
Chris,
what I mean?
is there an artist out there that made it big, that fucking drives you crazy? What? It's a good fucking question.
It is. Go ahead.
That made it.
Because I interview great MCs on here all the time, right? And I just want to know, is there a dude out there that you've either put on the TV or the radio or the Spotify playlist and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, sorry, I don't have Spotify. I'm with Tidal. I mess with Tidal.
I meant Tidal, folks. I meant Tidal.
I'm entitled, so I got Tidal. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
I'm entitled. Right. But I don't know, you block artists. But to be honest, artist that I honestly can't. It's not that I can't stand. I just don't like the antics behind it, and I don't really gravitate to his music. It's probably Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling his energy. And hey,
that's fine. Yeah, no,
probably wouldn't feel mine, and that's cool.
That's true. That's fine.
You know what I mean? Yeah. There's no hate his way or anything like that. It's just not for me. That's it. What he's doing is not for me.
Do you see any longevity in his career?
It's longer than I thought.
Course.
He's already beat what I expected.
Well, it's like I said, it's the agenda that they push with him, which is going to keep him. He's always going to keep him employed. Remember, when you use that agenda, remember, it's the biggest marketing tool because, like I said, he's the first that's actually out there on that agenda, which makes everybody who feels that way or feels a little bit like him gravitate to him and crown him as the GOAT. right?
Yeah,
because
but
he's the first one out there.
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
we know that. But to a person who comes up in a hip hop where hip hop is very masculine, and remember remember we used to drop the F bomb all the time. You know what I mean? And that was the thing. And now, but he's
I hear you, but I put him on less artist as an artist. You know what I mean? I'm not going to label him just hip hop.
He's not really hip hop
as an artist. I had a problem when they did the commercials with him and Elton John. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's the GOAT. That's the GOAT.
Yeah, Elton. See, that's what I'm saying. Where Elton John, you can't deny Elton John for what he's done. You know what I mean? That's a musical genius we're talking about,
right?
Which you can.
But bam, it's generational. You can separate.
True.
Yeah, you could separate that from. Elton John was just putting out music. It was all about putting the music. That his antics weren't crazy. You know what I mean? Nowadays, it's a circus show, and that's what I don't like with a lot of the new music. It's like a big circus show. You know what I mean? That's all it is. A circus freak show. Who can be? Everything. Yeah. Who can be the biggest freak of them all? You know what I mean? But it's like, the kids are watching. You know what I mean? And they're promoting that to the kids. And like I said, to me, it's just like I ain't trying to get into no conspiracy, but I'm telling you, this is not something that they just came up with. Like this is a system.
Something.
It's called a system for a reason, right? So,
Chris, you know what? Over the years, even when I was working with a different artists, the time I met you, you were one of those artists that I was like, fuck, I wish I could work with this guy. Like your talents, your name, your reputation has been great since day one. What do you find was the biggest struggle on being an independent artist?
Exposure. I found it exposure, and then you always everything is done on your dime, right? So it's like you got to live and eat, and if like I said, I have a son, so, and I got a family, so it's like we're not making. It's like hard to make a lot of, you know what I mean, try to make money and then try to cater to other things like rent. You had to learn how to budget and balance, and a lot of times, took L's. We took L's, definitely took L's. Like, okay, well, today because I spent this and this on music, then it's like I can't go do this and that. You know what I mean? So that's where that's why today's climate, where it doesn't really cost that much to put music out. It just costs to create the music and make it. And if you want a really good quality, if you want quality, I always believe you got to pay for quality. If you want your song, because I remember once upon a time, I would sit in a room full of artists and we'd be playing our songs, and then hey, maybe they might have had a better song than mine, but I would pay for the quality. So already it was so rich, and my song would grab you. It just gives you that feeling because I spent that money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I spent
100%.
I spent that money, that extra $300-400 to get a song mixed and mastered.
Yeah.
Right.
Versus then who probably spent they didn't even get it mastered. They're just playing a mix, you know what I mean? And then when you start playing it loud, it starts distorting, and you're you hear all the discrepancies. Where mine, you play it loud, it doesn't even matter. It just sounds like.
Because once you start cringing, you're right. It doesn't matter how good the song is. When you start going, it sounds like shit. I don't give a shit what the lyrics are or what the beat sounds like. You're absolutely right.
I'm telling you.
But you're mentioning that every word you said is the same thing about us with the podcast. You know what I mean?
Right.
We end up, let's upgrade the mics. Let's upgrade. Let's get the software. You know what I mean? It was all about money. You're right. To separate yourself, you have to spend.
That's true.
Can't be too comfortable in anything you do.
Because there's times where I'm like, I check out a podcast, and it could be the most interesting interview in the world, but if it sounds like shit, I gotta turn it off.
Yeah, can't do it.
It's
the same thing with a video. If you're watching a video and the video quality is just not up to par, you're just like, oh man, I can't even watch this.
See, Chris, on this show, I'm called the demotivational speaker. All right, I demotivate. I just want shitty artists, and I'm sorry to say this. Bam's the motivational. I'm the demotivated. Stop spending your money. You need to be surrounded by real people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the yes man thing is not cool.
I like to tell. I'll tell Bam if it's crap or it's amazing. And when I say it's amazing, he gives me a weird look, like he's shocked. You know what I mean? Because he doesn't he doesn't think I'm going to tell him these things. But that's what I am. And I tell people, it's like the game, like you said, you can take a big L being in the game. The longer
I just need him to be negative to make me push more. You know what I mean?
You can't be pushed,
it's a yin
He's so old. The only thing I'm going to push him in is in a wheelchair. Get out of here, man.
It's the yin and the yang thing. You know, you got people that say the wrong thing to you, and you be like, all right, watch this. Boom. And then when it happens, you just give them that look, right? But, you know, I like to tell people, do what you got to do. Make it happen. Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, and don't stop, you know.
I'm just like, stop.
Yeah.
You know? Like, just stop.
Well, you know what? Like, hey, like I said, I remember at one point when I first started, I wasn't at the level that I'm at today. So so it's doable. Anybody could be a good MC, the problems that people back in the days, like when I was growing up, we studied rappers and what they were doing and then try to do our own thing, our own rendition of what they're doing. Nowadays you got people actually just mimicking, so that's totally different than what we're doing. We would study the artist, how it is, what they're doing, their moves, like just. But nowadays everybody's just like, I think it's like it's so easy. Like there's just, especially with rappers, like every day there's a new rapper. Every day somebody's like, yo, I can rap. And and that's the difference. A lot of people, it's like, a lot of people would say, I'm a rapper because, if you can put lyrics to a beat, you're a rapper. But it's like a true MC. I'm a true MC. I feel like I'm a lyricist. Depends the song, right? Because at this point now, since I became a producer, I became more of a musician. Because I don't know, I go in front of my computer and I just, whatever comes to my mind, whether it's hip hop, guitar, acoustic, reggae, whatever it is, whatever comes to my brain, I put it out there. That's it. I don't limit myself, but obviously the foundation is hip hop at always. You know what I mean? As always. The foundation is hip hop, but you might hear me on like an Afro beat. You might hear me on a reggae song. You might hear me doing things like because at this point, like I said, I'm a musician at this point. You know what I mean? It's like,
don't put yourself in that box.
I don't put myself in
the evolution. Yes, the evolution, man. I started over here, but now I know all this. That's amazing, man. I love to hear that.
Yeah, Chris, I can do it all.
Is there anybody that, anyone that's out there that you'd love to work with, producer, artist wise?
To be honest, who would I like to work with? You know what? I kind of like. There's this cat that's from like Gatineau, and I was talking about it with another person with the new song that I released. Shout out Jay Morris.
Great track. I was listening to it a few times before you came on today. Good track,
man. Thank you. You know, I produced that one as well. You know what I mean? That's why my verse is so short. I just made the beat, wrote a little something, and then let him finish it up and give you that.
He's a great artist too, man.
Yeah, give you some lyricism. You know what I mean? Just to show it, because in the last little while, I've been doing like a lot of music that's like, hey, it's like, it's not full. It's lyrical in my aspect, but it just sounds simple to the rest of the people, to the masses, which is cool, you know what I mean? But an artist that I think that I'd like to work with is probably like I like Mindflip for some reason.
Mindflip.
Yeah, Simon Mindflip. There's something about what he does. I feel like he's being very authentic and being true to who he is. And if you ever been to like Gatineau or Ottawa, if you ever been to like the Quebec side, they're really about that like old school hip hop. You know what I mean? They're really on that. So I feel like the way he does it, I feel like he's doing it right. You know what I mean? So hats off to him. And straight up, like that's so far who's been on my radar. I like what he's doing. Yeah, Mindflip. Shout out Mindflip.
It's pretty cool how far we've become, because when I go on Instagram now, and even from like from a smaller city like where we're from, Ottawa,
a
lot of fucking music's coming out of here, man. Like it is like there's some solid artists coming out of here.
Yeah.
There's a few groups I follow like that have other local artists on here, and I'm like, Jesus.
You got City Fidelia going crazy.
It is crazy.
City Fidelia.
The exposure wasn't there. Now it's there.
Yeah.
You know?
I like it.
Freddie Prince.
Freddie Prince is great. Yeah. We've had him on the show. Yeah, he's cool, man.
He's doing his thing, and then
I love how Justin Diamond hasn't given up.
Diamond.
He's still killing it. Yeah.
Shout out to Diamond. I like the way he elevated his game. And then who else? I'm trying to think of who else. Swisha T, him too.
Yeah, that's right.
Swisha, and another. Well, Sharon, and I mess with Sharon. Sharon, that's
there's a dude. I got to get him on here.
Sharon.
There's some other dude I got to get on here. I got him on IG, and I was like, man, his track popped up, and this is what this is the positive aspect of the internet, like you were mentioning. Comes up, listen to his track. I'm like, comment, because you know what, people, when there's good shit out there, comment and share. Yes. Stop sharing Kanye's weirdo shit over there. Stop that. Promote the good stuff, man. The positive stuff, So I share his shit, and I shoot him a quick comment. I'm like, yo, your shit's dope. He hollers back. I said, "Where are you from?" And he's like, "I'm from Ottawa." And I'm like, "Get the fuck out of here!" You know what I mean? Like, but
There's this kid, Linda's son. I think that's how you pronounce it. He's pretty cool too.
See, and that's the thing. I think people have to stop sharing the idiot videos and these people that are already famous. Come on, guys. You know what I mean? How they help your boy out with
you have to. Yeah, help to bring the new up. Yeah, and I forgot to mention, there's this other cat, Knight Lavelle. Him too. I'd work with him too.
That's dope, man. I like that. And coming from you, and I know that means a lot. Trust me.
I don't really talk too much about artists, but I give everybody their roses and their flowers for what they've done and the contribution, and because I know how hard it is. You know what I mean? Like the Aspects, he's another one that's been grinding for some time, and he's been doing his thing too. Aspect, and he's super cool. That's another person that I would like to work with one of these days. Like, we've kicked it so many times, but we're just like, it's like we're just such boys that that's what it is. We sit there, freestyle, have fun, and we're always supposed to work, but we just end up having a good time together.
That's awesome.
Because
So when you're out there performing, what would you prefer, an indoor venue or an outdoor venue? Which one appeals to you more?
I like fresh air. I like fresh air, but to me, you put me in a hallway with a mic and with 5 people, or it doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care.
You see people, he's getting gutter.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It doesn't even matter. To me,
the kids
I grew up rapping in staircases. So to me,
Chris, that's exactly what I want to. I tell people all the time. I'm like,
you got gutter with it.
It don't matter where you perform.
It smells like piss and shit and crack. It smells like piss and crack, but nigga, we still out there.
You gotta do it.
Freestyle. That's what it was. It was what it was. You know what I mean? There's people meeting up, crackheads, dope boys in the stair. Like, everything was going down in the staircase. You know,
Chris, can you tell the youngins how important it is to always be performing?
Always. Well, I think it's very important. You got to put yourself out there, because that's how you impact people more. Because that's one thing. When I would be performing, I'd always perform, but I was like one of the guys that's like, I'll do half my set on stage, and then I'm off in the crowd, engaging with the crowd, going to people, dancing with them with the mic and rapping. You know what I mean? Make people feel it more. You know what I mean?
I tell people that they need to perform to get better stage presence. I don't give a shit how great you are in the studio. Again, we're talking about that. Would you come on stage and you look like a statue? No, you lost me.
Yeah, I'm too hyper for that. I'm way too hyper. I'm way too hyper for that.
Chris, what's going on, man? What do you have? Do you have anything going on lately, man? Do you have any shows coming up, or what's going on?
Soon. Yeah. We're working on that. But right now, like I said, I got an album coming out next year. So till then, I'm working on this collaborative effort with Jay Morris. That's it's called Soul for Sale. That's like the collaborative, the name of the collaborative. And we just released a video on YouTube. It's called Introvert.
I'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, check that out, because it's going to be a little bit more like that. You know what I mean?
I love it, man.
We just want to, like I said, I've been doing so much of like what's been going on in today's climate, like, but with my own rendition of it, that I was like, yo, you know what? I want to take it back to what made me do hip hop. So that's why I'm like chopping up samples, doing, you know what I mean? Bringing it back to that old feeling, just to show people like, yo, I know you hear me singing and doing whatever. I'm a painter with a brush. That's it. That's the way as a musician, I'm just painting with a brush. I know that, but here's the foundation. So this, the Soul for Sale, which is a double entendre, you know what I mean?
Nice.
You know what I mean? It's like, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? Because it's like, we're giving you soul music, because it's like samples, and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, for sale. We're selling you soul music, or you know what I mean. You can sell your soul, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you're in the music industry, your soul's for sale, right? So
facts.
You know what I mean. But us, we're giving you a lot of the samples are like soul samples. It's gonna be, I'm telling you, it's gonna be very very wholesome, and it goes back to the roots of like what made me fall in love with hip hop. So that's why we had to do it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You know, as a musician, the people want to know your top 5, bro. The people want to know your top 5.
Top 5. Let's see. The one that's inspired me the most. Well, I think it's kind of like, I don't know. Well, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, so I'm a 90s kid. So to me, like the way Jay-Z would, just the way he would, like he would rap in like codes. You know what I mean? Like
facts.
Like it was always coded, and to me, I always thought you play a Jay-Z song, you listen to it now, and it's like later on as you grow up and mature, you hear the song, you're like, oh man, that's what he meant. You know what I mean?
It has happened.
And business wise, like I said, I love a person who's about their business, and so Jay-Z's like, to me, would be my number one. Nas is up there for sure. Probably like, who else would I put up there? Man, top 5 is like in no particular order.
No, of course not.
No particular. You know what? I went back and listened to a lot of Snoop Dogg stuff, and I was just like, "Yo, Snoop had his some pretty dope moments too."
My favorite album's his first album.
Yeah, well, of course,
that's just not like.
I love that, but you know what? Top Dog. I thought Top Dog was really good too. I thought Top Dog was done very well.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Top Dog.
That was under No Limit, right?
Yeah, under No Limit. Okay. Yeah. And even The Last Meal. The Last Meal was pretty dope too. Anytime he got with Dre. I like Snoop and Dre together.
It's a great duo.
I love right now, so I don't know, top 5, then you'd have to put like Big, Pac, and then who else would I have to? I'm trying to think who else really like. I don't know. And I have to grab somebody from the new school too, because I don't want it to just be old school. I really like what Kendrick's doing. You know what I mean? I like what Kendrick. I like how he pushes the boundaries. You know what I mean? Like he's like he kind of reminds me a little bit like what Pac used to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like just in not lyrically, but just pushing the boundary with song and speaking about things that like. Remember, like Brenda's had got a baby, like stuff like that, like those, you know what I mean? And Tupac's willing to be vulnerable. You know what I mean? The way he was willing to be vulnerable. So I give Kendrick his flowers, and then I don't know, I'd probably give it to somebody like I don't know. I really and wordplay and metaphor and just like lyricism, like Eminem back in the days. Like Eminem back in the days would just taught me like yo. He taught me like it was just so different what he brought to the table, like, and I don't know, man. Like I said, I have to throw like Redman, Method Man, like yo. There's just DMX, so I can't even make it a top 5.
It's so true.
It depends what mood I'm in. It's like yo, I'm alternating albums.
I love it because like I can't disagree with anything you're saying too. Like, so, you know what I mean?
Man, and Lost Boys. A lot of people forget about Lost Boys.
True.
I used to mess with Lost, Mr. Cheeks. Yeah. I used to. They just, you know what I mean? Just one thing that I liked about the Lost Boys is that every time you saw them in a video, it just looked like a good time. Mm-hmm. Everybody's having fun, even their music, you know what I mean? Like it was just like, so their music was just so chill, like lots of vibe. And Cheeks was a lyricist himself, you know what I mean? He was really good at telling stories. Like that song Renee. I'm telling you, Renee has to be one of the best story songs
that's hip hop back in the day. It was hip hop back in the day for me was the track. When you listen to it, you already had your own video in your brain. You saw everything develop. Verse by verse, the whole thing's developing. I hear a song today, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Like Biggie's Story to Tell. Oh man,
ridiculous! Exactly.
I'm telling you, that song, man.
They don't make them like that no more.
I'm telling you, you know what I mean.
Chris, my last question.
Yeah.
how did you feel watching the Super Bowl and having finally a whole hip hop crew up on stage performing in front of like 90,000 people, man? Was that a win for the hip hop community?
Man, I was doing the moves. I was doing all the moves. What the hell?
Yes.
I was standing up here. I remember, where was I? I totally forget where I was for it. I don't know. I was faded, whatever. But I just remember myself dancing, looking at the screen, dancing like, hey, like, yo, these were, yeah, like, yo, it just was like amazing to see that. You know what I mean? Like that, yo, stuff that we grew up on. Finally, hip hop got a crazy moment. Like big moment. Shout out to Jay-Z for that, because Jay-Z's the one who put it. He's the one.
Good. You're the only one that's seen it coming.
He put that thing together, and like I said, that's why Jay-Z. That's why I say, to me, he's like my top. You know what I mean?
I seen it coming. Nobody seen it coming. I seen it coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I was like, they put him in charge of what? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it all stems from that dude taking a knee, man.
From Colin,
from Colin, you know what I mean?
You know?
But this year is going to be Rihanna, so this year's Super Bowl.
It's gonna be amazing. Rihanna will kill it. But what I love, this is the first time in a long time that the Super Bowl performance was bigger than the Super Bowl itself.
Yeah, for sure. I don't remember the last time it was.
People were excited
were bigger than the game.
You know, you remember being like, "Oh, I know so and so's performing. I can't wait to watch it." Or people were excited. Some people didn't give a shit. This was like the most talked about.
Yeah,
I knew people that talked about the who was performing.
Even Mary J. Blige, damn, on stage. Yeah, Family Affair. It's funny because she did her song that Dre produced. That Dre produced. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. It was one of those times where people had no idea who was playing. Like, who's playing again? Like, they knew who was performing, but they didn't even know who the fuck was in the Super Bowl. So that took a huge win, man. It was
it's
dope.
Funny. I know LA won, and that's it.
Exactly.
It was LA. Yep. They're in LA.
It all made sense.
You know what I mean?
It all made sense.
Yeah. And
Chris, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time. We're here on a Saturday afternoon, bro. I could talk to you all day. Hopefully, we can have you back on and talk some more hip hop, brother.
Yeah, when the new project comes out.
Yes, man. Sure. Holler at us. We'll get you back on, brother.
Dissect it, and then you let me know what you think. And
absolutely. But I know what's going to come out of you. You're a perfectionist, brother. You've been class act since day one. You've been a real hip hop artist since the day I met you.
Thank you.
It's been an honor to have you on, Chris, man.
Yes.
Wish you all the best, and please send me your project. We'll help promote the shit out of it, and we'll have you back on, my brother.
And one more thing. One more thing. If you do get the opportunity to tutor these young kids, please do. They need that education. You know what I mean? They need it. They need it.
Those who are willing to listen, because you know I try. Like I told you, like a lot of people, like I try, and a lot of people just want to be flattered, and they just want a yes man around them, and when I'm trying to tell them what to do, I don't really hear from people. When I give constructive criticism, a lot of people don't hit me back. You know what I mean?
That's their loss, man.
But hey, it's all good. Don't worry, I'll find that special little individual.
Absolutely, bro.
We need them down.
You're gonna find the little version of you, brother. You're gonna find that young version of you.
Yeah, I will. You know what I mean?
Man. Guys,
yeah.
Sorry, man. We got to get going. Chris, man, been a true pleasure, bro.
Salute, Bamboo Deuce. You already know.
Peace, man. Later.
Thank you.